She loved how he was emotionless until her mom was in the hospital due to heart surgery and she wanted him to comfort her, but he physically couldn't cause he was so empty inside. On the day I entered my contract marriage with Bryan Jansen, a flood of comments suddenly flashed before my eyes. No, the villainess is going to ruin the male lead's purity. The CEO's first time should belong to the heroine. Shameless woman, get off his waist right now. Are they going to do it or not? I'm on a tight schedule. Come on, have some loyalty to the main couple. If Bryan knew he wouldn't be able to give Quincy the pure, untouched version of himself in the future, he'd probably drown in guilt. Pure, untouched version. Sorry, I was born a villain, and making trouble is what I do best. So while Bryan was drunk, I leaned in without the slightest bit of guilt. The comments exploded again. It's over. They look like they're about to get married for real. Am I seeing things? Did the male lead just smile? The comments were still flashing non-stop before I could sort out my thoughts. A low groan rose from beneath me. A moment later, Bryan Jansen's voice came through. He sounded drunk, embarrassed, and annoyed. Get off. The comments went wild again. Oh, get off, huh? Afraid the villainess will notice that tent you're pitching. Cold water is not saving you tonight. Noo, he is tainted. How can the male lead feel desire for anyone who is not the heroine? The showerhead in my hand kept dripping cold water. The man in the bathtub was drenched. His shirt clung to him, outlining every curve of his chest. Water beaded on his lashes. Some of the haze had lifted from his dark eyes. He was staring at me with surprising clarity. I just wanted to help you sober up with a bath, I said. As for falling right on top of him, that really had been an accident. Smooth. The villainess lives up to her title. In the novel, she made him soak in ice water all night. Thank goodness our sweet heroine found the CEO in time and brought him back to her room. Otherwise he would have gotten sick for sure. A prickle of guilt crept in, and the comments only made me more curious. Our room was on the second floor. Who would come looking for him in the middle of the night? I still had not moved. Bryan's face kept turning redder. He turned his head away. His voice dropped. Hannah Lewis, you don't even like me. Why do you have to toy with me like this? The sudden and very clear reaction beneath me made my face heat up. He seemed to lose control again. His large hand wrapped around my calf and slid upward toward the hem of my soaked dress. His breath was hot. He leaned in, almost kissing me without thinking. Right then, someone knocked on the glass door. A crisp young girl's voice came from outside. Bryan, are you in there? It was Quincy Sanders, the Jansen family's adopted daughter, also the so-called heroine. This world was actually the setting of a melodramatic pseudo-incest romance novel. The male lead would be pushed to the brink by his cruel villainous wife, who happened to be me. The gentle and soft-spoken heroine would heal him and help him discover his true feelings. They would go against the world to be together. I would be left with divorce, bankruptcy, a car accident, and an early death. Quincy spoke again outside the door. I knew she'd abandon you again. Hannah doesn't care about you at all. Bryan, she doesn't deserve someone like you. Let me take you back to my room to sleep. This was the so-called pure and kind heroine. I let out a small, mocking smile. Just as she pushed open the bathroom door, I flipped straight into the bathtub. She walked in and saw the scene in full. A narrow tub, two soaked bodies pressed together, a kiss on the edge of losing control. Quincy screamed and ran out crying. Bryan stood up. I looked at him, proud of myself. I waited for him to get angry. Instead, he reached back and locked the bathroom door. His voice was low and rough as he pulled me back into his arms. Continue. When I opened my eyes and saw the comments again, it was already the next night. For hell's sake, the channel showed nothing but mosaic for a full day and night. I thought the system crashed. Please, ever since the heroine ran off crying, I stopped watching. You aren't saying they actually did it, right? No. My pure male lead is ruined. Forget it. I give up. The chemistry is too good. My imagination is running wild. I sat up, baring my teeth in pain. Someone had already changed me into clean pajamas. Even so, they could not hide the glaring marks all across my neck. I cursed Bryan 1,000 times in my head. I turned my head. A sticky note was stuck to the lamp on the nightstand. Meeting back soon. Short and to the point. As always, exactly like when he signed our contract marriage. He had said only, no marriage certificate. Fake marriage for 3 years. Everything else is up to you. My family was close to bankruptcy at the time, and his terms solved every concern I had. He needed a wife to deal with family pressure. The Lewis family needed the Jansens' influence to get back on their feet. I accepted the deal without hesitation, but according to the comments, I was still going to end up bankrupt. I would even die early. Absolutely not. Mess with my feelings if you want, but ruin my money and my life. No, thank you. After thinking for a moment, I called Bryan. Darling, are you busy? There was a pause on the other end, followed by a heavier breath. He probably never expected me to use that word. After a moment, he answered in a calm voice. Yes. What is it? There he was again, cold and distant. I want to move out. The contract stated we could not live separately for the full 3 years, which meant he had to move out with me. Fine. He agreed without a hint of hesitation. I'll have my assistant sort things out tomorrow. We'll move to Lakeview Bay. That was a villa development owned by the Jansen family, with a private lakefront house chosen as our official residence. When the contract was signed, after I hung up, I let out a long breath. Let's see if the story can still follow the original plot. Once I stay far away from the heroine. Conference room. Halfway through an important meeting, the CEO suddenly answered his phone. Bryan never showed emotion, yet he stared at the screen with the faintest curl at the corner of his lips. Everyone exchanged confused looks. The presenter assumed his proposal had finally impressed the CEO. He cleared his throat and continued, I'll spend the next hour explaining the details of this project. However, that's all for today. Everyone froze for a second before scrambling to their feet. Bryan was already striding out as if something urgent had come up. Sorry, due to copyright issues, I am unable to continue updating the next chapter. If you like the book, if you like this book, circ 624,741 on Good Novel to read this book.